Ms. Madanayaka speaks 9:20 to 9:30, and then we work it out. Thank you. Take it out from there and then 9:30 to 6.
Chair and Vice Chancellor and ladies and gentlemen, today my topic is illegal fishing issue as a non-traditional security threat to Sri Lanka with reference to India. So as an introduction to my topic, in our context, the illegal fishing issue is a illegal maritime boundary crossing of the fishermen of Sri Lanka and India for the fishing purposes. And the internationally recognized term for this issue is illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. So this issue started in midst of 1980s, and it is important to say that since the 1980s, still the issue is taking place in our waters as well as in Indian waters. So the parties which are involved to control the situation are Sri Lankan Navy and the Indian Coast Guards. When it comes to the objectives, the main objective of the study to identify the illegal fishing issue committing by the Indian fishermen in Sri Lankan waters as a non-traditional security threat, and the sub-objective is to evaluate the impact of illegal fishing issue on political, economic, military, societal and environmental security of Sri Lanka. And the methodology that I have used for the study is qualitative in nature and followed descriptive analysis method for the analysis part. And the impact is evaluated by using the theory of Berry-Busan 5-level security sectors. And for the primary data, I have used purposely selected sample of 50 people, including professionals, academics, military officers, and other government officers, and use interviews and discussions to gather the primary data, and also I have used secondary data as well for the study. Then my first part of the study is to identify illegal fishing issue as a non-traditional security threat. So first I'll define what is a non-traditional security threat as to challenges to the survival and the well-being of the peoples and the states that arise primarily out of the non-military sources such as climate change, infectious diseases, natural disasters, irregular migration, food shortages, smuggling of persons, drug trafficking and other forms of transnational crimes. So through a literature review, I have found some characteristics of non-traditional security threats, and I try to identify those characteristics from the issue of illegal fishing. So the first one focuses on the non-military security threats. So this issue is taking place mainly because of the good availability of good quality fish and prawns in Sri Lankan waters. And during the period of civil conflict, there were some links of illegal Indian fishermen to the drug trafficking and illegal trading during that period. But this act is, the actual nature of the illegal fishing issue is not purely on military purposes. The second one is transnational in nature. That means the crimes that across the borders between the countries. An illegal fishing issue is across the boundaries between Sri Lanka and India, and it is at interstate level. And the other one is cannot be entirely prevented, and we know that still we could not prevent this issue by us or by India. And then affect people, their survival and dignity. This particular issue would mainly affect for the people of northern province fishermen and their livelihood, and they face economic difficulties due to this threat. And the consequences are often more difficult to revise or repair, and the method that they use called bottom traveling, the Indian travelers in Sri Lankan waters have entirely destroyed our marine resources in that area. So that is very much difficult to regain or revise in thousands of years, I think. So this is by using the primary data, I have tried to identify this issue whether a non-traditional security threat to us. So the 48% of these interviewers have agreed that this is a non-traditional threat to the Sri Lankan security. So this is my second part. It's to evaluate the impact of illegal fishing issue using the theory 5 levels of security sectors of Barry Busan. And these are some maps that explain the situation. And my first level or the first sector of security is military. And as I earlier mentioned that during the period of war, there were some links that found by the securities that Indian travelers had some connections with the LTT cadres by drug trafficking or illegal trading or arms trade. But the illegal fishing in another country's territorial water can be linked with the other kind of illegal acts such as drug trafficking, smuggling, arms trade, human trafficking, and illegal trading. And also, the second one is political security. And for this particular issue, Tamil Nadu is playing a big role, and Tamil Nadu is acting as a central player for this. And when the maritime boundary agreement was taking place, and Tamil Nadu was mainly opposed for it, and they called it as an inhuman agreement. And also Tamil Nadu tend to use this issue to pressure the central government of India to act against Sri Lanka in the case of war crimes and human rights violation, to support the Western countries to act against Sri Lanka. And also they claim that Sri Lanka is violating the human rights of Indian fishermen by detaining them and by killing or torturing and committing sexual harassments on them. And also this is one of the part of the Tamil Nadu's propaganda. And due to this influence, the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh turned to boycott the Commonwealth Summit, which was held in Sri Lanka. And the propaganda that which Tamil Nadu conduct in international level is a threat to the sovereignty of Sri Lanka, and this shows that it has an impact on political security of Sri Lanka. And then it comes to the economic security, and we all know that fish production is has a direct impact on the economy of Sri Lanka. And the loss caused by the poaching of Indian had been estimated to be over 705 million annually US dollars. And also per boat, they catch 35 to 56 kilograms fish from our waters. And among the 5,300 fishermen in India, nearly 2,500 fishermen are highly depending on the fish resources on Sri Lankan waters. And the annual catch of shrimp and fish is estimated that 1,557.7 metric tons they catch from our waters, and it is a threat to the economy of Sri Lanka overall. And then come to the societal security threat. So the societal security emphasizes the cordial relations with the social groups of society. And initially I said that this particular issue is mainly affect to the one group of the Sri Lanka, that is Northern Province fishermen. And there were some confrontations between these Northern Province Sri Lankan fishermen and Indian fishermen on the sea. And Sri Lankan fishermen have lost their some boats, engines and nets due to the Indian fishermen because of their clashes on the sea, and some of they have lost their lives. And on the 16th of February 2011, the fishermen of Point Pedro, which is a fishing town in northern Sri Lanka, gathered to take action against the India or Tamil Nadu fishermen, whom they called as robbers of our house. And finally, it comes to the environmental security sector. Actually, the Indian fishermen use the method called bottom traveling to fish in our waters. And bottom travels are designed to dig into the deep foot and drag up everything there. That means they catch everything in there, and the wastage percentage of the fish is considerably high in this method. And this images shows that how was the seabed earlier and now how was it, and the other image shows the bottom traveling method that they use. So along all this information that it is proved that this particular issue has an impact on all these 5 levels of security sectors, and this is from primary data collection, and this also proves that this issue has an impact on the 5 levels of security sectors, and they are identified that mostly it affects to the political sector as well as environmental sector of the security of Sri Lanka. So when it comes to the findings, based on primary and secondary data, illegal fishing issue committing by Indian fishermen in Sri Lankan waters has identified as a non-traditional threat to the security of Sri Lanka, and according to the Barry Busan's 5 levels of security sectors theory, it has identified that this particular issue has more considerable impact on political and environmental security sectors. And throughout the literature review, the reasons for crossing the borders to each group are as due to the lack of global positioning system in their boats and a chain of automatic identification system stations along the Tamil Nadu coast. So finally it comes to the conclusion. So here, illegal fishing issue has an impact on the Indo-Sri Lankan relation, and still there is no permanent solution for this issue, and it is a threat to the security of Sri Lanka, and Tamil Nadu is using this issue as to conduct the propaganda against Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think one of the most controversial issues in South Asia between India and Sri Lanka particularly is the whole question of the fisheries. It is partly economic in some respects, but there are also political things that come into the picture and also takes it on to a much higher level into even an international sector. There is also other aspects which have also been lightly touched upon. It links up to some extent with the Indian Ocean security, including certain aspects such as people smuggling and also other issues of that nature. So I will not